What's up, everybody? Oh, I need a laptop or an iPad or something. So, you've been bamboozled. April Fools, rah! So, what we're going to do tonight is it's going to be a requests. Normally, I do have some stuff that I do need to get done. I can do that kind of in the meantime, but I thought I'd ask and see if there's anything that you want to know about, learn more about, see done, whatever else. Go ahead and drop it in the comment section, and I will do it. I got some grips to pull out. I'm going to drill out some slugs. I got some balls going to some people. I have used my Revenant quite a bit, so I need to finish resurfacing it. It got kind of beat up, and so I resurfaced it. Now I just need to polish it back up, and I do need to make the grips a little bit bigger. And I'm finding in my thumbs, I'm getting away from the white tape in the front, and so I need to take that out, and I need to kind of freshen up the thumb. So I do have a few things to do. However, outside of that, it's going to be whatever you want to see.
I don't know if you want the tray table out or not. It's over there next to the fridge. Yeah. Then you're just not taking up counters.
I might just put it right here.
Okay.
What's up? Yeah, I might teach Angel how to do stuff. Ha ha ha. So, I'm going to get started on some of this plug work. How are the basketball games going, by the way? What surface is your absolute at? Mine's pissing me off and only strikes if I ace it. My absolute is at, I took it down to 1,000 and then finished it with step 2. So, it is actually shiny. However, mine also kind of does the same thing. I tried to take it out the other day and it's just not a me ball. It's way too quick. And if I sand it, that's going to make it too early / strong / quick. So I think the absolute's really good. It's just it's not a me ball. What? Damn it. Once again, properly gluing in inserts makes it really easy to take them back out. This was my right-handed exotic gem. Obviously the righty thing didn't take, so these balls are getting rehomed. But saving my grips because I do like broken in grips, and because of how I glue them in, they're super easy to get back out without any damage to the grip. There's some people that they glue them in, and if the grip comes back out, they just have to trash them and move on. And interestingly enough, my hands are the same size, and so I use the same grips righty that I did lefty. I just obviously swapped them.
I hope you all appreciated the thumbnail, though. Stormdog did quite well.
Stormdog. Yep. You've talked about a triangle hole before. Can you show us how to do that on a test ball? Absolutely. No, I have a fresh test ball up here because I'm never throwing that piece of crap again.
Yeah. Yeah, I put the other one over there to put it in the dumpster. So.
Okey-doke. Why are you going away from white tape in the front of the thumb, hanging issues? Yeah, a little bit. As my hand is getting stronger, I needed the extra texture to kind of hang on to it because I was coming out of the ball really quick. However, I have lengthened my span a little bit. I've also gotten away from a lot of the bevel around the top of the thumb hole, and so I'm finding out that, having a more proper fit, if I also have the white tape in there, it's catching. However, I've gone away from that on a couple balls, and they feel a whole lot better, namely my new spare ball.
I was just going to say, we actually did the triangle on the last drill stream.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I just didn't know if you wanted to do that again or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I can do it.
Okay.
It's a request stream.
Well, I didn't
people
know how
wanna see
many
it.
other requests were going to come in to
Yeah, I know.
run out of time if we redo something.
Nah.
Okay.
I am gonna. I think on these righty balls, I'm just gonna pitch plug. There's a lefty ball. I'm giving a few balls to a friend, and on the righty balls, I think I'm just gonna pitch plug them. Pitch plug the fingers, and then plug and redrill the thumb. Partially because the way I do my fingers makes them really obnoxious to full plug. So there's that. How would I go about changing my pitches for a one-handed no thumb? Because I kind of bury my ring finger in the ball, trying to get out of grips quicker to play more up the back of the ball. Ponytails and storm hugs. Well, yep, that's not going to be me. Saving Angel's grips here too. She did use this quite a bit more, but these grips are in pretty good shape, and grips are not expensive at all. They're like $1.50 a piece. But again, grips that are broken in are a little bit more comfortable. There's just something about a grip that's broken in but not worn out that fits a little bit better. And then I don't have hardly any residue in here to get rid of before I pitch plug, so shim in there. How is everybody's April Fools? Have you dodged a lot of stuff? Yeah, these are the balls for Alex. Oh. I thought about you last night. Guy barged into the shop demanding an infinite physics drill like his friends. Pen over bridge. We try to get his pap. He's not having it. We drill it. It rolls bad. Comes back today. Wants it measured. It was 40 by 5 and 11/16 by 35. Said it didn't hook. Oh, well, it's almost a 6-inch pin guy. It never spins up. Well, that and also box surface stuff. So I would believe it doesn't hook, but because of the surface, not because of the layout. I had somebody else send me something about an Absolute today, and he had kind of a different layout on it, but he's like, yeah, it just really doesn't hook. And I'm like, yeah, that's the Reactagloss. Turns out if you put turtle wax on a bowling ball, it doesn't want to hook. It's the trick that we use for the seniors to get the ball to not hook, because it never fails that the seniors all want strong stuff, but then it hooks too much, and so then we have to put like turtle wax. We used to use Finesse It. To get the ball down the lane. Turtle wax is also pretty good because it just kind of locks up the pores, and the ball can't absorb any oil, cover gets slimy, and it doesn't hook. So I don't know why they thought that that'd be a good thing to do, but whatever. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Yep, Finesse It. Oh yeah, and James did mention something about the jersey. This is the lane side design or whatever. They have it on the website now. This is very cool. I wasn't expecting to like it because generally I don't like Kyle Troopy stuff. But this is sharp and the colors all go together, and so I like it. So all right, so we had a request for the triangle oval. So I'm going to go on ahead and show that off now. I am done with this white mix nonsense. The mix just hooks too damn much. There was a tournament that I was at the other day, and it was a longer pad, a longer, heavier pattern, whatever we were bowling on that was 48 feet or some odd nonsense. And this ball was out hooking. You know, I couldn't get some other stuff to hook, but I'd throw this at a 10 pin and it would, or a 7 pin and it would overhook. So that's typical. So all right, this is easy enough. Just kind of plop it right here in the middle. So the triangle oval, of course the triangle oval is kind of an oxymoron, emphasis on the moron. But basically, instead of just an oval going from side to side, I do it in a triangle. You know, I make the cuts this way, then back this way, then back up this way, so that if you have arthritis or something, or knots on the back of your thumbs, whatever else, it gives you a little bit more clearance. Because the problem with the ovals is that most of the time I'll use a smaller bit so that you can see the overall shape better. But the problem with typical ovals is that they can squish you a little bit front to back. If you get them wide enough for your thumb, then they get a little bit tight front to back, and it makes the front side of the hole, instead of being rounded, it's a little flatter. So it tends to pinch you and get you to hang up. However, if you have a little bit of relief on one side or the other, this could be done the opposite way for the front side of your thumb too. It's just, the front side is a little bit flatter typically, and then if you have, again, a knob on the back of your thumb, this allows the back of your thumb to clear so that you can get out of the ball. So I'm just going to start at 0 because that makes this easy. Loud noises. And for demo purposes, I don't need to go all the way down. So normally, I guess I'll drill it righty. Last time I did it lefty. It's because that's what I've done this before for a couple people. I did it for a few seniors, again, that had arthritis, that had a knob on the back of their thumb. I've done it for other people that tend to grip a lot and have just kind of an abnormally shaped thumb. And since I'm just demoing this, I'm going to make a shallow hole and just give everybody the idea. Now the cons, or the pros are, this is really easy to do. This prevents, because there used to be a guy that I drilled for would take 10 or 15 minutes to drill the ball. Dizziness.
Sorry, people.
It'd take 10 or 15 minutes to drill the ball, and then I'd spend a half an hour hand tooling it to work it out for him, because he had some various knots and things on his hands, and he didn't use grip, slug, whatever else, and so a little bit of extra work doing that would have been made a little bit easier.
Well, I was actually debating about putting it and then having it over here.
Well, no, that's not going to work. You can get this, you can get it a little bit closer though. But, I mean, this is, so The pros are that this allows you to do a lot of the work on the press and form fit it that way, and then you just kind of have to finish it off later. The cons are that the sanding discs, the sander doesn't like sanding ovals, and it definitely doesn't like sanding triangles. It's a nightmare up top, and so I actually use a Dremel to bevel it. So that's a little bit more labor intensive, and also you have to do some math if it's not a 45-degree oval angle, because if it's 45 degrees, everything's all the same. So if it's not, so that way I can just go 45 down this way, I can go straight back this way and straight back up this way. However, if you have a 35-degree, then you have to go this way, and then you kind of have to go down and back that way, and then you have to kind of go back up at a different angle. And so you do have to do a little bit of math if it's not a 45-degree angle oval, or oval angle, whatever. So anywho. Alright, so most ovals aren't this wide, but this is a typical kind of normal oval. So it's just, you just make the hole wider than it is front to back. A round hole is just a round hole, but an oval is where it's, again, wider from side to side than it is front to back. And so that's, a lot of people have oval thumbs, so a lot of people have oval thumb holes. And this is where it typically stops for most people. However, again, like I said, if you look at it here, it's a little bit straighter, flatter in front, it's a little flatter in the back, and so it can create issues clearing the ball if you have a wider thumb. And so to have a little bit of relief, I add so I had thought before, it's like, okay, well, if somebody has a knot on the back of their thumb, leaving the front side flat is fine, but when it comes to the back side, I tried to figure out a way to round it out a little bit, and I thought, well, I wonder if I can drill it, and so I kind of took it back to the middle of where I was at, and then it was really pretty quick mental jump to get to, oh, okay, well, I just have to go this way, then go back up that way, and everything's going to be fine. The other trick is that they don't have thumb molds for triangle ovals, and so you have to guesstimate it. You have to kind of eyeball it, look at it, find a junk ball, and say, okay, I think this is going to work. Let's try it, and then you drill the thumb hole into a junk ball before you drill it into an actual ball. Or if you're just using like thumb slugs, you can replace the slug. It's pretty easy to do. But definitely you want to get it straightened out before you do it for somebody with an interchangeable or something like that, because that's a lot more pricey. So, all right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to leave it, so you can see I'm going down the same amount that I'm going sideways, so that makes it a 45-degree angle. So most people have 45-degree oval angles. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight back and then straight back up to kind of create the triangle. And then of course, when I return it to 0, I don't have to make another cut because that returns me to the original hole. So that's what the triangle looks like. I'll take this for a second. So you can see that it's, here's the orientation. Let me get a pencil. Hang on to this for a second. Get a pencil and show the, so it's the front side of the hole.
I could get one of the permanent markers if you want it really obvious.
Yeah, I got one here.
Okay.
Oops. Whoops. All right, so this is the front side of the hole, and then this is the back side of the hole. So you can see that it's, again, triangled, so to speak. So there's just a little bit of relief. It's still flat on the front side, but it's just the back side has been drilled out a little bit to allow some room for a knuckle, thumb, whatever else. And so this is just, you know, you change the shape of the hole a little bit, and that will work out great for most people. Again, there are some challenges to doing it this way, namely having to bevel it with a Dremel, not having a mold for somebody to say, hey, try your thumb in this and see if it fits. And also, if their oval angle is anything other than 45 degrees, then you have to do some math. However, I've done it for several people and it seems to be pretty beneficial. It's actually, if you've done it for a while, it's not that hard to eyeball because the hole is not that much bigger once you add the triangle to it. And so if I normally drop a bit size or two, I stay with the same width. So if they're like because all you're really trying to do, nothing really changes but a little bit in the back side of the thumb, and so dropping a bit size or two normally takes care of it. They can stay at the same width. But
questions as if you were doing that?
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, love finesse it. You're going to a plastic spare ball then? Yes, I drilled a nice. I like that. I like the ice quite a bit better because it actually goes straight. The problem with my mix is that it just hooks a ton, and everything on the left side just, you know, boinks so much more anyway. And so if I threw the mix, and the obvious answer is like, well, just flatten your hand and go up the back, but I can't do that yet, and I haven't been out to practice doing that yet. That's the goal, but for now, you know, just throwing it like I normally throw it with a plastic ball is where I'm at now, where I need to be at. Oh, we got a $5 donation. We'll get to that in a second. Actually, that's a $5 donation. I'm going to go to it right down now. Bob, thanks again, Bob. Thanks for the Nova tidbit you shared. Son hits his with Surface for sport, keeps it lane shine for THS. 2 balls, 1 price. Yeah, exactly. And that actually came from Stu Williams, again, who... It makes sense, and it's just something that he, you know, it's like, well, one of those duh moments where it's just like, oh yeah, that's a thing. And I've actually, you know, thought that several times, is that some of these, you know, when they're out of the, and that's what I thought with my Nova too, is like it hooked a bunch, but then it started shining up and it hooked less and less. And I thought the same thing with some other stuff, like an IQ Tour is a totally different ball at 2000 than it is with lane shine on it. So definitely makes sense, but that does add a layer of versatility to them, and that gives you a contrast between the stronger covers and the weaker covers. That also helps tell you what is a stronger cover and what's a weaker cover, because the stronger covers don't, like if you polish a phase 2, it's a little longer and sharper, but it's not significantly weaker. However, if you polish a weaker ball, it's still pretty strong, because anything with surface is just going to dig, period. But the weaker cover formulas, once they lose that cover texture, then they don't have the formula texture, or they don't have the formula, the chemical friction, or whatever they call it. Once they lose mechanical friction from the surface, they don't have the chemical friction to do its thing. So if you don't know all the technical mumbo jumbo or whatever, sanding a ball and throwing it, and then polishing a ball and throwing it will help you figure that out. So thanks again, Bob. Really appreciate the donation. So anyway, yeah, I was talking about the spare ball. The ice actually goes straight. So when I throw it, the problem was when I threw my mix straight at the 7-pin, it would always get there and then hook right in front of it. And so then I would think, okay, I have to give a little bit of room, or I have to try to flatten it out, or I have to try to just dump it or whatever else. And it just always put me in between missing it to the left or missing it to the right. It was very rare when I actually, because I had to give it a little bit of room and kind of give it a chance to walk into the pin rather than being able to just throw it straight at the pin. And so with the ice, now I can just throw it straight at the pin and it hits the pin. So that's, my spare percentage has gone up quite a bit already. Notably on 7 pins. I am going to have to, my right side spares I haven't really started shooting at yet, which is going to make nationals a little tricky. But I have been able to go more cross lane because go more cross lane straight at the pin because there's more oil in the middle. So it's just on a house shot. Once the ball gets out there to the 5 board, it just wants to start hooking. Spinner is nice. Yes, I like my spinner. Oh, there's another donation. Two-handed beast, just because you're awesome. Well, you're awesome. Appreciate it. Awesome possum. And yeah, you're a member now too, so appreciate you signing up for that. I think you did that last time we were on, when we were doing the report cards. So sweet. NASCAR says it's a tri-oval. It's not an oval, it's a triangle. Well, see, this is the thing, is if I say a triangle thumb, nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. But if I say triangle oval, then they're like, oh, okay. They still don't know what I'm talking about, but at least they have a better idea what I'm talking about than having no clue. So yes, the ice has already been pretty awesome. Any surface except factory. Richard, yeah. Gonna try a different surface on the IQ Ruby. Any suggestions? Again, yeah, just I've been taking stuff down to 1,000 and going back up to polish for myself, and then for Angel, everything gets React-A-Scuff. So, love your content. Do you think even with a highly glossed ball can still have a place in the bag because it hits hard? Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter what the surface is. If it reacts well and it hits hard, then yeah.
No, all the buzzwords.
Mm-hmm.
Goes long, hits hard.
This is one of those things that people say, well, this ball hits really hard, but that's just a product of matching up. If hitting hard was something that they could build into a ball, why wouldn't they build it into all of them? It's just one of those things that it's just one of those marketing buzzwords that people don't really stop and think about. And it's not that people are dumb or something. It's just that you just don't stop and think about it until you stop and think about it, or somebody points out to you. It's like, well, yeah, why don't they make them all hit hard? If that was a product of the ball, or if the blue crap in the Brunswick balls, Dynamicore. Why don't they put Dynamicore in all? If it makes them hit harder, why don't they put Dynamicore in all the B7 stuff? Does that make any sense? Also, there's a limit. USB-C has a limit to coefficient of restitution, which is how springy or how bouncy a ball can be. They can make balls that again, like golf balls that are designed to be more springy off the club head. That's how they get they play with different stuff with golf balls. They can kind of do the same thing with bowling balls. But bowling balls, you actually don't want them hitting too hard because then the pins go up instead of sideways.
And if you have twisters, look at
Yeah, you want them going sideways to hit other pins, not shooting up through the rafters because it looks cool. And again, USB-C literally has a limit on how hard a bowling ball can hit. And so there's all the hard hitting, whatever else, it just doesn't really fits there. It doesn't really fit. What type of layouts would you recommend for a PAP? 5 inches right, 3/16 down, low tilt, medium rev and speed, 40 axis rotation. That's pretty close. I mean, I'm not far off of that. My PAP's up, but low tilt is the thing that, you know, if you're a little bit more spinny, you can go with longer pins. Pin down stuff because you're going to get the blend, and especially if you have a higher rev rate, that's going to help them. More tilt generally, it depends on, well, I mean, more tilt, but your 40 axis rotation. That's a Mr. Bill or James question. Oh yeah, San Diego State over Florida Atlantic in a buzzer beater. I was rooting for Florida Atlantic. Would pitch black be a good spare ball, or does that hook too much too? It's not that it really hooks too much. Urethane balls, you got to throw them a few times to get some oil on them so that they actually will go straight. I was actually playing with my fast pitch there for a little while. The problem is that I want to carry 6 reactive balls. I don't want to lose a spot in my bag to a spare ball, because it was something I'd always use my ProMotion right-handed as my spare ball, because that cover's so durable that I can just, I can just go double duty with that ball. And I would love to be able to do that left-handed instead of having to carry 5 balls and a spare ball. I would love to be able to carry 6 balls and just throw one of them at corner pins, and I just haven't gotten that feel or whatever else worked out yet. Surprise B7 doesn't add dynamic core and plastic balls, since they also advertise it helps prevent cracking issues. Yeah. Yep. That's unfortunately the thing is the mixes. I had gotten the mix specifically for that because of the urethane mix in the cover really added to the durability, because what happens on most plastic balls is they eventually start chipping out around the fingers and the thumb hole, and it's just, you've seen some of these pros it's kind of funny where they got a plastic ball that they like and it is just cracked all to hell around their thumb slug, and they just keep using it until it falls apart. Oh, another $5. Thank you. How do you navigate youth balls? Daughter moving up from 10 to 12 pounds, and SPI, I think, only has a few generic cores. Most are super high RG and low diff. That's just what you have to deal with. They actually designed bowling balls at 14 pounds. 15 is the most common weight. Used to be 16, then it turned into 15, but they actually designed them at 14. As far as I remember, that's what I have been told. But you just have to kind of go with what you go with. It at least has the same cover stock on it, no matter what. But yeah, you just don't really get up into actual performance cores until they get to 14 plus. But if she's still in a 12-pound ball, it's not really going to matter that much anyway. She's probably not scoring high enough or consistent enough yet for it to really make that big of a difference. It just kind of works out that once she's ready for a 14-pound ball, she will be ready for the 14-pound performance, I guess you'd say. So man, another donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Man, I'd do this more often. I make videos and have to rely on the YouTubes for the ad revenue. This is awesome. Friend gave me a brand new match pearl and a hectic. I drilled the match already and it hooks almost as much as my Zen. How much less hooked do you think the Hectic will be compared to the match? Not a ton, and especially new. The Hectic was one of my favorite balls. I had, again, lefty and righty. I love the Hectic. Also pink, and we all know what that means. So the match, is it a match? Yeah, the match Pearl. Now, what that's telling me is that you probably don't have a whole lot of oil, because the match Pearl is definitely a much weaker ball than the Zen. However, how long have you had the Zen? Number one, this is always tricky when, you know, somebody's had, well, I have this old ball. What can I? The Hypercell fuse has been coming up quite a bit, and people are like, what can I replace my fused with? And I'm like, well, the fused when it was new, if I just look at specs versus specs, I can come up with something. But if you're trying to replace how an older ball reacts now rather than how it reacted when it was new, it gets tricky. So I would say that, you know, the match Pearl on drier lanes is going to hang out with the Zen, but once you get on some oil, it's going to fall off pretty quickly. However, again, if you're Zen, if you've had it for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever, I could see that happening, because your Zen with use is going to get gradually weaker and weaker, and everything out of the box is really sparky. So I would say keep throwing that match Pearl. As it breaks in, it will get a little bit weaker, and so fresh out of the box, they're always going to be pretty boomy, unless they have reactor gloss on them. But the Hectic is going to be pretty close. I think the Hectic, they're about similar numbers, similar line of ball. And so I think that they are going to be pretty close. So, limits or not, but I see more dancing pins when I throw Dynamic Ore. That could be. It might be a placebo effect type of thing too. I got a friend that's a, no, don't you even try it, Bucko. Ah, Bucko! Go away. Why are you bad? You're bad. Definitely bad. Yeah, I'm going to move this, because that's just not safe. It's just not safe for buckos. Got a battery pack that's corded, and the dog with his frickin' husky looking curly tail. It's the perfect thing to walk under and hook that thing and anyhow, yeah, I mean, I used to troll him a little bit, because he'd always say Dynamic Ore when I'd throw pins all over the place, but when he'd, you know, leave a 710 or something like that, I'd Dynamic Ore. So take the Ruby to 1,000, then step 2, yes. Anything but reactor gloss. I missed my Uproar. What is a good replacement for it? Hype Solid, I think. I think the Uproar was a little higher RG, but there's nothing really. All our lower end stuff right now, unless you go down to the tropicals, is like 252-ish, 251, 252, 253. That's kind of where the burners and the hustles and the Electrify hypes. So that I would say that a Hype Solid would probably be the closest. I know that the Uproar, I think it was a hybrid, but the match, or the hyped hybrid, does not act like an Uproar. The Hype Solid, I think, reacts the most like an Uproar. Can't wait till I bowl there. At least I can be rested after my anniversary cruise. Yeah, where'd you say you were going? Oh yeah, Pittsburgh. So Richard, you need to go write this down. When you're in Pittsburgh for a tournament at the end of the month, you need to go to 5th Street Bar. Looks like a dive, it looks like a hole in the wall, but you have to go to 5th Street Bar and go upstairs. The downstairs is kind of like a regular dive bar with you know, boring beer and boring liquor selections, but upstairs they have a pool table, they have darts, they have like 20 craft beers on tap. The food is kind of regular bar food, but it's done really well. So definitely 5th Street Bar. It's a great time. It's nice and relaxed. The owner's there all the time. We used to go there pretty well exclusively when I was traveling for work. And we'd go there every night. They'd have, taco specials, whatever else. And it is kind of it's a laid back, kind of, again, kind of a divey bar, but at the same time, it's one of those old school ones that they kind of do well. The people there all know what they're doing. Like I said, the owners there actually doing. He mingles, but he also does what an owner should do. So, Fifth Street Bar, yep. Uproar is a pearl. Okay, you could probably get a hyped pearl then. That might work. What causes your hand to pop on top when coming through the downward release? My hand does it occasionally on certain balls that I use. It's holding on to it basically. I don't grip, and my fit is fine or whatever else, but I don't really grip, and so my hand the ball tends to slip a little bit on the backswing, and so that's why I think I'm almost trying to hold on to it through the backswing. So it's one of those subconscious things. So, won an exotic gem last night at ball raffle. Can't wait to see if I like it. We've seen a bunch of them. This one's been surprisingly popular. The pros have used the gem a bunch, but you see a ton of them using the exotic. This is it's a very strong cover formula. Again, it's a very chuggy rolling core, but it's also clean in shapes. It's controllable, heavy rolling, hits the mid lane, all the buzzwords, whatever else. But it also gets down the lane and pops a little bit too. It's just a nice one of those blend of everything type of balls. Any sign of the gem and IP Infinite Physics to get axed soon? I don't think so. I think it's still popular enough. The gem's been out for a year now, and the Infinite Physics has been out for about 9 months, 8-9 months. Released in July, I believe, June, July, something like that last year. So the Infinite's been really popular on tour too. So I really don't see those going anytime soon. Why do some balls get no attention, volatility, torque, and then get new color and new name, Eternity, and everyone loves it? It's just the way that they look. That's the easiest way to explain it. And I can tell you exactly what, again, when the Insight came out, I'm like, that ball's going to be gone inside of a year because it's just not pretty. So that's the thing, is people see pretty stuff, they buy pretty stuff, and 95% of people don't know what 95% of people are league bowlers, and the average is like 175-ish. And so I would say probably 70 to 75% of people don't really know what they're buying. They just see a ball on the wall that they like and they buy it and they want it. And so that's why pretty ones tend to stick around and ugly ones tend to go away. That's just one of those things. The volatility torque, it didn't have a sexy name, and it didn't, it was green, and it was some kind of weird green looking color and whatever else. And so it just...
And 900 really wasn't that popular.
It just...
Was it?
Well, the torque was one of the first ones that and the intensity and whatever else were the first, was in the first 6 balls or whatever that they made when they moved all the production to Utah.
Oh, I thought it was...
So, doesn't seem like that long for the gem. Yeah, it's been around a year now. So, they come out with an RSTX4. What do you predict it'll be? I don't know. Because we've had, I would think, a solid, because we've had 2 hybrids and a pearl now. They tend to... I would think that we've got to have a solid before they move on to something else. Kind of shocked SPI hasn't announced something. Maybe too busy punching out the Ruby. Gem's amazing. I shot 300 with it. Congrats. Yeah, I think it's generally kind of slow around this time anyway. It's getting to the end of bowling season. We're in tournament season. They have a bunch of stuff that they just released that's doing really well, and so it's, they finally let something breathe for a change. And yeah, you don't want to, when you release a ball like the Ruby, you don't want to step on its toes. You don't want to announce something else. We don't really have any holes in the lineup right now.
Wasn't it this time last year? They kind of took a little break too.
Well, it was this time last year that was soft gate. So, yeah,
Okay,
they.
maybe it was 2 years. Because there was a period in time though that they actually took a break, so maybe it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
All right,
People don't
so.
want to listen to me. They want to listen to you.
All right, I'm gonna get to moving on some stuff here. I need to drill out some slugs. Have any tape in it? I do need to get some I do need to get some of my national stuff ready to go. We leave for nationals. I leave for nationals on Thursday. We're driving, but I don't bowl until Monday, so it's another week and a half. I don't bowl until Monday the 10th, I think. Monday the 10th and Tuesday the 11th is when I bowl my squads. So, again, I guess another week from Monday. So we're gonna get in early. We're gonna bowl the Bowler's Journal a couple times. We got a couple team practice sessions, so we shall be prepared. All right, put this back over here now that Stormdog,
Yeah, he's on his pod.
curly tail, isn't in here messing stuff up. This is fairly boring, but I'm drilling out thumb slugs to. I'm gonna pitch plug the fingers, and then drill slugs out and plug and move these on the righty stuff, and then the lefty ball will have to be completely plugged because I'm giving it to a righty. Man, that's perfect. I didn't have to move this at all. Bam. And again, especially when I'm plugging something, but whenever you're drilling slugs out, the slug is softer than the ball, and so it is kind of tough to get it perfectly lined up. However, if you get it as close as humanly possible and then go a little bit faster with the drill bit, the hardness of the ball versus the slug will actually drive the bit. You know, the bit, if it's going half into soft stuff or even just a little, it's going to divert off of the harder density, or the harder, firmer. What, are you chuckling?
James, not you.
Oh.
Discord chat, you're okay.
Yeah, so anywho, you get as close as you can, and if you're off just a little bit, just drill a little bit faster, and it will divert the bit into the softer stuff. Bam.
I don't think I locked it, so you can bend the.
Well, yeah, I'm just more looking for naturally. Picked it clean. All right, put a couple more on there and actually. Yikes. That is good, that is close. Be very interested to see another gem with a lightly sanded hybrid cover that's just a notch down from Microtrax. E-Trax plus hybrid. Yeah, that'd be fun because it's just the exotic is, or the gem period, that core is so chunky and the cover Microtrax is so early and strong that it kind of puts it out of use unless you're on heavy stuff. That's why the pros throw it so much. Wait a minute, you're not Angel. Wait a minute, it's April Fool's Day. You've been bamboozled.
Yeah,
Doing me a heckin' bamboozle.
You do not want me doing shop work.
Yeah, could be fun to teach her, but she doesn't want to learn. So.
No, I do not.
Not interested.
It's the last, we've done really well with not being OCD about the same things. Let's not start that.
Yeah. Does the RSTX3 work good on heavy oil? Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the RSTX3 either, but it hooks off the planet, so. Good national in the last week of the tournament. Normally we bowl. Normally we bowl the last couple days of the tournament, or the next to last couple days. Too much math? Yeah. Not as much math as you think, but still too much. Whoops. Yep, that was one where, again, I didn't have it. I think you'd see the sliver on the front. I didn't quite have it lined up perfectly, but going faster, roto-rooted it all out of there. So, and Angels 0. Honey Badger Intensity. This was her first 299 ball. And she just, there's nothing wrong with it. It just kind of worked its way out of the rotation. She's been throwing stronger stuff here recently.
I'm not really a sentiment. Some people keep their first balls. I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I did seek out and purchase a
Oh.
lane 1 ball, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Lane 1.
Lane 1 tsunami.
The tsunami. Alright, that'll work. You actually have 5 boards of forgiveness with the X3? I had 0 boards of forgiveness with the X3. Give me forgiveness front to back or left to right. That's perfect. Perfect. Is that a mosquito? That is a no, I don't know. Is that a gnat?
Well, don't
A
flick it.
mosquito.
Catch it.
I don't know why, they just
Okay.
right in front of my face. I was trying to smack it, but
Well, if it
I can't see through
if
this.
it is one, I will go inside the chair bite.
I
Promise.
can't see it for this bright ass shirt.
It'll come for me if so. It can snow again now.
Yeah, okay.
Over it.
Sure. All right. Moving back to the table. That light sucks. I think I remember this from last time. Y'all can't see anything because of this stupid light. They sure do. All right. Next ball is going to be a DNA. I like a DNA. I do like the DNA. So, I'm going to start mixing some plug. This gives me a little bit of practice. I don't really need the practice on the Synergy because I know what I'm doing. This purple for the exotic, I'm going to need a little bit with, and then this intensity is such a dark purple that that's going to be pretty easy. So I will do a little bit of practice. Yeah, I'll move these around in a minute. All right, so we're gonna do purple. Let me see, this is just, hi Bucko. Hi buddy. Come here, you wanna come say hi?
Yeah,
Come here, Bucko.
With the plug.
Snuggle Bucko. Oh, yep. Hi. What are you doing? I know. What are you doing, buddy? You have fun, buddy? You saying hi? All right. This is pretty just straight up purple.
She's your boy. Thank you.
Purple. I see silver. I see gold. Maybe kind of a reddish. A little bit of red there. How close I can get this or how well it's going to come. There's not a whole lot of purple on this one anyway, but that purplish, definitely gold and silver. Not very much silver though. I'm going to start with some Vice purple because it's the transparent / translucent. What, Bucko? Hey, what are you fighting? The door. Oh, the door's not open. It's not my fault.
They came in, so I closed it.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
You came in. You should have stayed outside.
So, a little bit of silver. Start stirring and see where we end up at. This will take a little bit of. It will take a little bit of gold. The silver will brighten it up at the same time that it kind of. Oh, that's interesting. Definitely needs a drop of white because it's not quite as clear as I thought it was. Also, I think it needs a drop of red. This will be interesting. Let me turn this around. We'll get you closer here. Get you in on the action. These stupid things need to go. They just suck. All right. So we're going to get you right down on the ball. So, okay. That's what we're looking at. So there's what we're looking at for the, so right away, I need white. I need 1 drop of white. And this is purple. That looks like it has a drop of red in it. So I need a drop of white to brighten it up and add a little bit of depth to it. So I'm going to start with that first. Just going a little bit lighter might actually make the color difference work out too. Definitely gonna need that drop of red, but I think I actually need another drop of white. This is the fun stuff. All right. There we're getting closer to the depth, the body of it. I think it needs a little bit of gold, and then it needs a drop of red, definitely. So yeah, see the difference there? This is purple. That looks purple until you have purple next to it, and then it doesn't look purple. That's what's fun about the color mixing. So I do need more sparklies. So I'm going to add a little bit more silver, and it does need a drop or two of gold. Not a whole lot. That's going to make it yellow and kind of dirty. Two drops of gold. The gold's actually making it change a little bit. Typically you don't want to stir plug this fast, but I have these very, very extremely tiny little dowels. And so you can stir faster with these. Like if you stir with a popsicle stick, I'm going to get all kinds of bubbles everywhere. However, with these little thin dowels like this,
Pretty sure I got those at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, I can stir
also.
faster. It just doesn't. Where you at?
Is it over there by you?
Yeah,
Okay.
there it is. Yep, Mosquito. Mosquito.
Over it. Done. It
Yeah.
needs to freeze now.
All right.
We're moving to
So you
Alaska.
can see we're pretty close, but again, this is purple. If you look at the exotic, you see purple. Again, this is one of those funny things. You see purple until you see purple, and then you don't see purple. So this definitely needs a drop of red.
Time to Google what state has no mosquitoes.
Yep. High quality H2O. Looks blueberry-ish. Yeah, it is kind of blueberry-ish. So I'm going to add a drop of red. We're going to start out with 1 drop of red. See what happens. I'm probably going to have, because this is a darker tint, or darker pigment. I don't know if I want the color any more opaque, or I would use the Storm Red because it's brighter, but it also is going to make the color flatter. So I still want some depth of color here. So I added the 1 drop of red. We'll see where we end up at. There we go. Tone is getting close, but it's still a little dark. So we're going to add another drop of white. Or I probably, because the more white I add, the flatter it's going to get, and I really don't want that. I still want it pretty, you know, pearlescent, basically. So now we're getting pretty close. I don't have the light on there like the light's on the, that's what we're looking at. So another drop of red. I think I need a little bit more silver too. Make that, otherwise it's going to be too flat. Normally you got to go big with the pearl colors or you'll never see them. You think it looks pearly until you pour it, and then all of a sudden the pearl, when it cures, it just goes away. So I added a drop of red, a lot more silver. Silver also brightens up without making it opaque or flat also. Now we're getting close. Still might need another drop of red. It's still the color difference, I think you can see. But we're definitely getting closer. It's a little dark, but the light is shining off of this, making it a little bit brighter. So it does need to be a little bit brighter. I'm going to add some more silver instead of white. There, we're pretty close. I'm liking this now. A little bit of gold, a little bit more gold. It's going to add the sparklies. And I think we're there. Looks a little darker in the cup, but with some, and it still might be a little dark even. But if I add any more white, it's going to get too flat. So I think what I need to do next time is go a little bit heavier on the silver rather than the white. Let me turn the lights on and give you overhead. And that actually needs a little bit more. Need Still needs a little bit of red, actually, because that's still pretty purple. So. Add a couple of drops here. I might have gone a little too far, actually. I added 2 drops. I should have just added 1. Anywho, this is just practice, so I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. I'll add 1 more drop of white, just because we're only plugging this thing halfway up. So, a little bit brighter. I think I've got enough pearl in there that it'll be okay. I think we're pretty close. Scrape some of this purple off the side. Might help. Yeah, a little bit too much red, but I'm gonna go ahead and pour it. I don't want to mess with it any longer. So I'm gonna pour this thing halfway up. Just pretty well empty the cup in there. Because I've got to drill the shine off the top. So I'll fill it 3/4 of the way up. Now that's about a cup. It works out. It works out well. All right. So that's what we're looking like on the color. You can say that's pretty close. Pretty close. I like it. I like it a lot. That's just a shadow. It's not purple and black. It's just a shadow. So let me turn the light back on and see. There we go. That's a shadow the other direction now. Bingo, bango, bongo. If I get it that close on top, I'm going to be pretty happy. So, a little dark, and I think you can see it'll cure a little dark, so I just might need that white in there. I just might need that in there. But when that cures, I will drill the gloss off the top so that because it'll be shiny and smooth on top, and so I'll want to drill that gloss off so that the next plug that I pour in there will adhere to that plug a little bit better. So, nope, not selling any of them, and they're going to some friends. So I'm gonna do the intensity next because this one's gonna be easy because it's just purple, and this one's interesting because it's gonna be purple and white because I need or purple and black and white, because what needs to happen here is this is very, very purple. It's not black. It's very, very dark purple. So I will need the purple, but this will be too clear. And so I will need to add white to make it more opaque, more solid color. However, once I add the white, it'll be too bright. So I'll need the black to darken it. So, whoa. I mean, you're one of the friends, but you're not one of them friends. So, Got a lot of friends all of a sudden.
Yeah.
HB Intensita. All right, so not gonna need red again.
Everybody wants to be your friend when you got balls.
Yep.
Can I say that? Bullet
Yeah,
balls?
sure.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm using the purple and I will need the white. I'm done. Well, no, I need the pearls here in a minute. So, yeah, all this stuff but the red can hang tight. So, in black. Black. One pump of each. One ping only. Careful, Ryan. Some things in here don't react well to bullets. How about me? I don't react well to bullets. Hunt for Red October. All right. So, I need purple. I'll show you here. So, again, I think you can see that's purple. It's very, very dark purple, but it's purple. So, purple, but dark purple, a little too dark, and also kind of a, translucent purple. So, add white to give a little bit of backbone, a little bit of body to it. However, this is going to make it too bright, but it will thicken it up.
Cameron, I don't think he's ever used gloves for this.
Nope, never use gloves. I'm kind of like a cat. I don't tend to get stuff on myself, so.
But if or when he does, good Lord, he is not happy.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm at like Venom Shock purple right now. Don't tell anybody I said that. So, as you can see, it's purple, but it's way too bright now. So, add a couple drops of black to darken it back up. And at this point, this is so dark that if I plugged it black, I would probably be just fine, but the black would also be kind of translucent. And so I need like a flat matte black. Oh boy, I need a whole lot more black than that. And with as dark as this is going to be, it's going to look black anyway. So I might as well just plug it black, but I need it like a flat black. Okay, this black sucks. So we're not using this anymore.
You had some new black down there.
Well, this is the new black, and it sucks.
Oh, okay. Never
It's
mind
like
then.
7 or 8 drops now, and it hasn't done anything.
Okay.
Yeah, still super bright. So I'm going to use some actual good black. And then watch it still be too bright. I'm sitting here looking like an idiot. I might have just put too much white in there. There, it's starting to work a little bit. Yeah, see, this is one of those things where this is obviously messed up now. It's just not going to get... I think I added too much white. I didn't need that much white. Normally you put black in this and it just overpowers everything instantly. So I try to be a little bit more sparing on the black, but this is why it's good to practice when you can practice, because in the, with this plugging half the hole, you're never going to see it, so it doesn't really matter, but it gives you a free pass to practice on the color matching for the top. And if you screw up color matching on the top, you got to throw it away. If I screw up now, then it doesn't matter, and I can fix it second time around. So I'm getting close, but it's just obviously not going to get there. Might actually need some red though, believe it or not. I will add a little bit more. I'm going to add some red. That will also darken it. Find where the drop went to on the bottom. Alright, so there's just too much white. Just too much white. I'm not going to get there. But I can tell that I am going to need some red, because this is just purple, white, and black, and it's definitely, again, this looks dark purple until you see dark purple next to it, and then that's obviously got a crap load of red in it. So I definitely need more red and not as much white. So these are the things that I remember for next time. So I can go on ahead and pour this, don't have to waste it. It's obviously not close whatsoever. There the tone's getting closer, but still just I'm a mile away. So I can still go on ahead and pour this, I don't have to throw it away. And I remember for next time, just 1 or 2 drops of white. Don't add so much white, because it just got too bright. So, anywho, the red is actually getting the tone closer. So I do know now that I need a little bit of red. So a few drops of red, a few less drops of white, and we'll be good. So I'm going ahead and pour this one so I don't keep messing around with it. And again, I think you can see the tone is pretty close there. The light makes it look interesting, so it's actually a whole lot closer than it looks otherwise. Good enough, I think. Makes me just a little bit worried on the, try to scrape a little bit more out of here. Makes me just a little bit worried on the amount. I drilled this hole a little bit deeper. I'm gonna try to squeak a little bit more out of the cup here. Fill it up just a little bit more. It's not a large amount, but there's still more left in there. So, whoops. Oh yeah, I got all kinds of nonsense. And you can't see it there. However, see, so that's closer than it looked initially. Once you get some light on it, it's actually not too bad. It's closer than it looked before. Just got to get the light on it the right way, which is interesting because it didn't look anywhere close until I started pouring it, and now that we got the light shining on it the right direction, now it actually looks pretty close. So again, it was good. It was good practice. I know what I need to do with that now. So good times. Now I can work on the synergy, and this one's fun because I've done this one before and I know exactly what I need. So we will get this ball out of the way. And this one I have actually done before. This was one of the ones I featured on my pictures. So I know exactly what to do here. Watch me butcher it now. So this is going to be down here in the thumb there, and it's just all teal. So that's how I'm going to match it. I'll spin the tricky thing with this is that it's got purple mica in it, and so you can, okay, that's hard to see on the light shining directly on it. But you can see, hopefully you can see as I move the camera around, there's that kind of purplish silver background to it. So as I move the camera, you can see the mica start to show up. And so that kind of purple, you can see it followed, the purpley look kind of follows the light. So it's, this is purple mica that's in the cover that gives it that kind of, it's teal, but it's also got a purplish silver backbone to it. And that's impossible to replicate when you're actually plugging something. So again, this is the, you know, that's the closest that I got, but it's still pretty daggone close, especially since I can't do that purple nonsense. So, all right, turn this around so you can see it.
And he only redid that thumb like 4 times.
The thumb, I did not have the correct colors for. I actually needed magenta, and I kept trying to make it through pink, red, whatever else, and it just didn't happen. So I actually needed magenta. All right, now I can put all this other nonsense up. Done with the red. It's purple. It's also purple. That's black.
It was just very funny
That's
watching you. I found it very funny watching you. It's like, oh, it's good, it's good. And then it would cure, and you'd stare at it, and you'd stare at it. I have to redo it.
Yeah. All right. Don't need any more white. Done with the white. I need blue, and then I need the Vice green, neon green. Definitely don't need black. Done with the black. Definitely need crap loads of silver. Possibly a little gold. Do not need purple. So, always wipe the tips of the, if you've ever been in a pro shop, you know all about the dye bottles just looking like absolute garbage and the plug table itself looking just terrible. If you do okay with it and you actually wipe the tips off, then you end up with the caps still being clean. I've used this a bunch, and it's the tip's still clean, the cap's still clean. It is possible. So
We actually bought all of those. I haven't had to repurchase unless these ran out. But I believe it's been 3 years.
not quite. I think it's 2 years. I think we bought the drill press in September of 20. So it's 2.5 years anyway.
Okay.
All right. So
I was
need
thinking it was close to 3.
one drop. I'm going with 1 drop of blue here because this needs to be very, very clear. So I need 1 drop of blue. If I add too much color, I get it too dense. I need this to really be bright, to be vibrant. If you use too much color, it gets too dark, and then you have to use silver to brighten it up. I can't use white on this because it's so clear, it's so transparent. If I use too much color, it gets it too dark, and then brightening it up, I either have to use way too much silver, I actually have to use white, and then that throws off the opacity. I need to shake this stuff up. green is weird. This green comes out like a paste. I don't know why it works this way, but it does. There we go. That stuff's weird. Then I need some silver, but I don't want to overload it because then I really screw with the color balance. All right. So I just used 1 drop of blue, and it's going to take some mixing before you see this green because it comes out pasty. So it's got to kind of, that green has to dissolve a little bit. See that chunk, these chunks kind of floating around. So it'll be a second until you start seeing the green swirl in, and I'm going to need extra green because this is more green than blue, and this green's kind of a neon green, so it's not as vibrant. Or it's not as strong of a color, so I'm going to need more of the green for it to really, there we go. Now we're starting to see the green get in there. I'm definitely going to need a whole lot more of the green. Again, this stuff comes out so weird. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's looking very green right now. That'll dissolve just a hair bit. It'll blend out a little bit. And I might end up needing another drop of blue. Gotta get these chunks kind of dissolved. So that's definitely very green now. So
Flip back over the chat and I'm not sure how to say it. Memby NYC. Are you looking at the chat at all? It says Angel takes over.
Me
Hush
being
it.
NYC.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I am not always in charge.
All right.
It's whoever speaks up and makes the decisions, and usually Luke can't make the decisions, so it's defaulted.
All right. Plenty of silver now in there, definitely. Definitely a little green overload, so I probably need
Husky
another.
says that almost looks Cosmos green.
Yep. But it's kind of the way that the light's shining on it too. I do need another drop of blue. Very small. Because again, this stuff can overpower quickly. It's going to darken it quite a bit. I almost need another. Probably what I need is this stuff. I need more material. I need more plug. I think I already added too much silver, but I was trying to brighten it up. This one's tricky. This one is tricky. But it will darken a little bit. So try to remember. That's definitely green, blue, and silver. I think I just need more material to. Yeah, it's definitely very green. Probably went a little overkill with the green. However, once that actually cures, or once I pour it, it does look a little different than it looks through the camera, though, to be fair. Let me move the light here, because the light's directly, that changes it a little bit when the light's directly on it. It looks quite a bit darker when the light's not directly on it. So that is the trick. I think I need a little bit more material to make it kind of that, you can see it's kind of that see-through, and I think I used just a little bit too much green. So if I need a drop of, I shouldn't have added that much green when I went back in.
Could you fill each hole halfway up?
Nah.
Put a different color?
No, I need more. I need 2 pumps is what I need.
What if you made another cup then and mixed it?
Oh, I could. And I might do that just for the heckers of it. To figure out where I went wrong here. Because these are the right colors. I just added too much.
The portions?
Yeah. I just added, well, I started with not enough green, and then I added way too much green when I added it again, and then I added too much silver to brighten it up, and it just ended up in a bad place. And I may need to use storm blue, and well, no, that's still pretty dark, plus it's, so I need like a half drop of blue and a very, very small amount. Yeah, I'm actually gonna dump this and redo it. That just got way too dark. Yeah. So now we're going to start with a very, very tiny amount of blue. I don't need much blue at all. Just going to half drop it. Just a very, very small amount of that. And then I got to get this. This green stuff is awful. I'll take a small amount of this green. Do need a little bit more green than blue, though. So stuff just comes out so weird. And that just, even that, excuse me, that tiny little amount of blue. think I'm already closer because I just needed a very, very small amount of both tints. That way it gives it kind of that see-through look to it. Now the color is a whole lot closer. Now I just need a little bit of silver. You know, if I put in too much silver, then it gets too dense, so to speak. I already might need a little bit more blue. This green is showing through a whole lot stronger than I expected. Add the silver first and see just a couple drops. I think we're close. That silver actually made it quite a bit more blue. So it definitely looks, it's interesting because it looks green through the camera, but it's very, very blue on my end.
Yeah. That's almost like a...
That's that Cosmos thing where it just doesn't look right on camera. See, it looks too green looking at it here, but I look at it and it's too blue and I think I need to add more green.
Well, that's... No, I'm saying the blue looks more like... It'd be almost like a phase blue or something. To me, from over here. Like that? Yeah, that's blue.
That's awful close though. I think if I pour it, it's definitely the right amount of clarity. And once this sits, it's not going to be near this silver. Gavin Lowell. So once it sets up, and plus is a little bit harder to see because it's not polished, it's not shiny, so it doesn't look quite as silver as it is. Might add a little bit of water on there just to, but that's pretty daggone close. I think, and again on my end, it looks like it needs more green, oddly enough. So, answer some questions here. Yeah, no, see, that's the right tone. It's just if this was... Okay, get some stuff. Buy that jersey in a heartbeat. Huh. Oh, absolute opposite. I look at the plug table at my shop and my hands are covered. Yup. All right, a little bit of water. Where's the water bottle? There we go. See, that's pretty close. It's pretty daggone close. I like it. Looks close on camera. It needs more green in real life. It's funny. Funny how that works. Speaking of cats, any chance Cool would design a space cat jersey featuring Stormdog doing the Doge pose? Yeah. Yeah.
So I tagged Riley in Discord because he always loves the favorite game of what color is this? Mm-hmm. So Steve G. Combs, he says, spoiler, there's gold in the purple. So he did the Angie pose. That gif.
Yep. Hey,
sorry, Riley, if you go back and watch this.
Yeah. That's pretty daggone close. I think I'm gonna... Now you can kind of see it. This looks more, now that I've got the light directly on it. Again, if we hold it down here, look at that, look at there, it looks too green. As soon as I do this, now it looks too blue. That looks really daggone close, actually. I'm just gonna pour it. So, whoops. All right. Checking concentration here. It's definitely the right amount of clear. So I need just a very, very ridiculously small amount of color. See, now that looks terrible once I got it in there. That's hilarious. Looked fine in the cup. Now that I got it in there, see, it's very, very blue. That's wild. So I'm probably going to need more silver to brighten it up. And then with it not being polished, the colors are more drab and flat. If I were to actually polish this ball up, it'd be a whole lot easier to see it. So at least I know what I'm getting myself into. So, anywho, all right. Those are the plug adventures. Plugging is always an adventure. And then, even then, turn these lights back off so I don't blind everybody. So, even then, oops. Oh, this can go back somewhere else. Actually, I need this.
Come on. Inside. Storm.
Do I have more? Oh, I have more green. Okay, cool. What's doing, Bucko?
He was hanging out in his car. Piggy, on the other hand.
What are you doing, Pickle Chips? In this stupid silver bottle.
Hi.
Always turns into a mess.
Honitos. Tinkle. Tinkle, baby. 2 sniffs. 2 sniffs. Tinkle. Yes, you do good.
What you doing, Mistle?
Yes, you do good.
You're a Tweety bird. You're a Tweety bird. Almost done with that bottle of silver, thankfully.
That's the one we had an extra, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then this gold bottle's brand new. Don't use gold that much, but it still happens. All right. Now this stuff is sitting up, and all I have to do is remember what I did here later, which will not happen
You can go back and watch the
because
stream.
ADD. I'll forget to. Hi, Bucko. What are you doing? Why are you violent? Oof. What are you doing, Bucko? All right. Those are all evens. All right. So now we're going to make the Revenant pretty again. I do need to buzz out the thumb a little bit. Because the tape's been in here long enough. What are you doing, Bucko? Here, you want to come say hi? Come here. Hi, Bucko. What are you doing?
Don't let him touch the plug stuff. He will.
Yeah. What are you doing? You say hi? I know. Goodbye. Thank you, sir.
Hi. What are you doing?
All right. Taking tape out. And the white stuff is okay. Our black tape sucks. So it's going to come out in pieces and leave a bunch of residue in the back. But I have to use storm tape because we have it, so I'm one of the few that actually follows the rules. So.
You challenge.
So tape comes out, and there's a bunch of crap in the back of the hole that I now have to buzz out. But it doesn't buzz out, so I have to put some alcohol on a shop towel, because this will just gum up the buzzer if I do it that way. So I've got to free up all the gunk first. Because our tape sucks. So got to do this first to get all the residue out of the hole. Color you've ever had to match before? A Zen silver. Zen or altered silver, because it's kind of this grayish, silverish thing that has, if you just do silver, it's too bright, and then it looks like there's a little gold in there, but as soon as you add gold, then it gets too yellow. And I just don't know what to do with that color. I haven't figured it out yet, so, okay. So we've got the nonsense out of the hole now. Now I can buzz it out and just freshen the hole up.
I think just about any silver would be hard just because they mix it with. It's not ever just like a
the
silver
is
ball.
silver is not bad. That stuff, whatever they do with the altered and the Zen, that stuff sucks.
Well,
Got me a new cordless sander if you haven't seen those before. All right, now the hole's all freshened up, and I'm gonna need just a little bit of
No. Good.
That's not gonna work.
There you go.
So here's also a trick. I'm going to, instead of putting the white in the front, I'm going to put a piece of white on the back. Hi, Bucko. What are you doing?
hey,
I'm going to put a piece of white on the back and then cover it with a piece of black tape so that I get the feel of the black, but I don't have to add so many pieces to fill the hole up. So I don't have any black tape up here at the minute, so at the moment, so I'll do that later. But
Where's
yeah,
that?
so I'll add a, it's in my bag. I just keep it in my bag. I'll get it later.
okay.
So that's done. And then the grips are just a little on the tight side. And so I'm going to, actually those feel pretty good. I haven't been drinking as much, and so I'm losing a little bit of weight. And so I think that's what my problem has been, is that, you know, too much beer, swelling my hand up. This actually feels pretty good, so I'm not going to mess with it. I just have to shine it back up. So I took it down to 1,000 on the machine. So I'm just going to put some step 2 back on it. Step 2, I love this stuff. It also smells pretty good. It smells like grapes or something. Yeah, my PSO got me onto blue tape from Real Bowler's Tape, and I find it doesn't leave residue like the black tape from Storm does. Yeah. I have a clause in my contract that says if Storm makes it, I have to use it. So if I use black tape, I have to use Storm black tape. So I do actually use Storm black tape because I actually read my contract and I actually follow what my contract says It's a novel concept to some people, but I do it. So I do also have step 3, but I just really like what the step 2 does.
I was just gonna say we finally got to use the React-A-Shine, and you said it smelled like bananas.
Oh yeah, the React-A-Shine. I used that on something the other day. This stuff smells like, it's like banana pudding or something. It's wild.
Yeah. So if any of you have a shop with Storm Cleaner, you should ask them if you can sniff their cleaner.
Yeah.
So it's not just the balls, it's the cleaners too.
Shout out once again to the trick here with the water and polishing. I just used to add polish until it got shiny enough, because it does, this compound is a little chalky, and so it does dry up pretty quick, but just adding water helps lube it up a little bit and get it shiny without having to continue to use more and more polish. I mean, this stuff's not expensive, but it's not cheap. And you know this, you don't use a whole lot. You don't use near as much as you think you do. And so that's about as shiny as I want it. Still, you can see there's a little bit of a sheen to it. I don't want it like shiny, shiny. So I just kind of, I don't do like a necessarily, oh, this many seconds on this side, this many seconds on this side. I kind of get it where I want it. And I know kind of what I need to do visually. The sanding pads I use are so good and so consistent that I know I'm exactly where I want to be with the sanding pads. And so then I just, after that, I just add polish.
Well, and since you got such a fan of the lane shine, you don't want too much.
Yeah. Kind of add polish to taste, so to speak.
Getting close to wrapping up here too, so if anybody has any last minute questions or comments, etc., toss them in the chat.
Alright, now I'm not going to add any more polish. I'm just going to keep flipping it around and blending. And then plus, whenever you go over the finger holes, I hate resurfacing stuff because it always gunks up in the finger holes, and I hate cleaning the stuff out later, but whatever. So now I'm just going to blend, and it is going to polish it just a little bit more, but I'm going to blend out I'm going to keep flipping it around here a few more sides and just kind of blend out the polishing lines. Just so that I've got a more uniform surface. I am going to, I think, invest in some polishing blocks for the machine downstairs, just to get a more uniform surface. So I'm just using the side, I'm just using where the polish was at, and just adding a little bit of water, and not using a whole bunch of pressure. Just kind of more, again, blending out the surface, and you can see it is shining it up just a little bit more, so that's why I leave it a little bit matted, so to speak, I guess. And these last couple sides, just real light and gentle. Yeah, that's why I leave a little bit of sheen on it to begin with, because then it will eventually get shiny. And so now, just a little bit of bit of water, and my Revenant is back in business. So, clean the junk out of the finger holes. That was the wrong. What woof? You violence, buddy?
He says bedtime.
You a violence, bucko? Yeah, this is... But I have got... What's up, bucko? Get all the junk cleaned out and... This is definitely my least favorite part, and that's why I don't like doing sanding stuff by hand or changing surfaces at all, because all the junk gets in the, you know, I'd almost rather not adjust the surface and score poorly than have to adjust the surface and then have to dig all the dust and other nonsense out of the finger holes. So, but...
Or at least, if you're doing it, change the grips at the same time or something.
But this ball is so awesome that I had to get it back in fighting shape because it was getting a little tracked out. I used it, again, I use it a lot. And I wanted it back, so. Revenant after a resurface. Looks all shiny and pretty now. It does still have a little bit of sheen to it, but again, I don't want it glossy. But that looks pretty. So I think we're gonna wrap her up for tonight. I'll get to some 8 months till balls for doggos. Heck yeah. I love that tacky sound. Yes. This is what a 1500 grit polish ball sounds like. It's what a React-A-Gloss ball sounds like.
Oh, golly.
Violence, buddy? I know, bucko. Alright, so Revenant's a great ball when the fronts get beat up. Yeah, it's perfect. When something like a High Road Pearl is a little bit too clean, that little bit of extra cover strength on the Revenant, a little bit of extra core strength, really works out great. This was one of those, again, the Revenant / Spectre. I wasn't sure what to think about it when they first came out with the Spectre, but it's perfect. Very, very well designed ball. Glad it's back. The OG Wolverine was sharper downlight. Yes, the green balls tend to be a little bit smoother. I think we've had enough experience with, you know, the Wolverine, the OG was sharper. The Dark Moss is earlier and smoother. Same with the gold ball. The gold ball, the gold IQ was longer and sharper than, I think the Emerald is the earliest and smoothest of all the IQs.
Okay. Go get him, Storm. Go say hi.
But we got a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of stuff out right now that is very, very good once you get the surfaces dialed in. Very, very good, well-placed, well-designed stuff. The Fate's amazing. I'm going to have millions of those. This ball's crazy good. The Absolute doesn't fit for me, but I've seen it work for tons and tons of people. The Exotic Gem is more popular than I expected it to be, because normally you get these Microtrax balls and the solids are good, but the pearls are a little wonky because they're earlier, chonkier, slower. Hi, bucko. How you doing? What? Violence? You have violence? Hi, Tweety Bird. Come here. Mistel, come here. Hi, I know, you're the nice... I know, you're the nice one. You're the nice one, aren't you? I know, you're the nice one. You're a nice doggy. I know. Okay, you go. You're just bad.
Hey, pick on to say hi.
Have you used React-A-Gloss and how do you like it compared to step 2? Boy, let me tell you about it. As soon as they started using that stuff, I had to film several more times because the ball just doesn't absorb oil. It gets slick like a urethane ball and doesn't hook. And it's so bad it contaminates other stuff. Wait, oh, hi. Yeah, React-A-Gloss is awful. Don't use it. Just sand everything and then polish it with the step 2 to get it back. What? I know. You're ready. I'm almost done, I swear. I know. I should have gotten a corgi.
Yeah, this is your fault.
Mm-hmm. So, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks again for the donations. It's still wild to me that people will send money to a stranger on the internet, even if it's $5. But I appreciate the appreciation. It definitely helps. Obviously, there's a whole lot of expense in all this, so it's very much appreciated. Yes, what James said in the chat. Hi. What? You ready to go to bed or outside? You go outside? You go potty? We go bed? Okay. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate it. I have more report cards coming as soon as I can get them written. I have some stuff. Let me see. I need to do a lot of stuff. Zenyu, Fate are the next 2, I think. And then we start having the December releases, or the early January, the Absolute and the Revenant. The Absolute's really good. I was very skeptical. The Absolute's good. It's not a me ball, but it's very, very good. I like it quite a bit. I wish I could throw it, but it's just, it's not a me lefty ball. This is a me lefty ball. I throw this a lot. I throw the Fate a lot. What I've been, the Night Road, I actually got that back out, and that's been pretty good.
Your
Last couple
Cosmos
nights.
gets in there.
So what?
Your Cosmos gets in there.
Yeah, the Cosmos. I do need to do a little work on some stuff before we get ready to go to Nationals, but the Cosmos is going to Nationals. This one is not. It's going to be too clean and sharp. I am taking the Fate because it's a little bit more blendy, and the Cosmos is going to get a lot of surface on it. I probably won't use anything reactive unless it's a DNA, but we'll talk about that on the breakdown pair on Monday, which is the next thing that I'll have. We're gonna have, so it's breakdown pair on Monday, Nationals preview because I'm leaving next Thursday. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Again, appreciate the support, the interaction. This is always fun, and we'll see you Monday.